house. Dawn, maybe? Close. Well, we have Dawn, which I guess is her mother. I think they were like triplets. Triplets are always interesting.
My mom moved up to the loft after her brothers died. At the time, it was as far away as she could get.
That's pretty. I like it. Nope, this first.
She spent a summer building houses in Calcutta, where she met my dad, Sanjay.
Adorable. Dawn? I guess.
My mom moved to India a week after graduation and got a job teaching English. Lewis was born a year later. When my dad died, I don't think Mom knew where else to go.
Seems like it's dangerous to be doing this at night.
I'm sure Edie was happy to have her back. And to see kids in the house again.
This is about how everything I grow looks. Did.
The house had to get a little bigger, but Edie was used to that. And for a while, things were good. Almost normal.
They had a classroom building?
But it didn't last.
Edith Lewis. Looks like a fairly new-ish. Dawn Finch. Her mother wrote a book.
The beginning of the end was Milton's 10th birthday, when Edie gave him a castle.
I want to go up, but we're going to go check out Milton's room. The one whose body was never found?
After Milton disappeared, the only thing he left behind was a room full of paintings.
Milton's here somewhere. He's at the old house. Off we go, please. He was an animator.
Milton Finch in The Magic Paintbrush.
Yeah, me too. He opened a door and disappeared and never came back. Looks like there's a second page.
I was 4 when Milton disappeared.
House. Alright. Guess we're heading back down.
Mom spent months searching for my brother. Then she sealed the doors.
Wait. Milton wasn't... Yeah, there's the door you painted. Milton wasn't her brother, was it? Wasn't that her mom's
Whatever Milton
brother?
had found in the house, Mom didn't want it getting out.
You found a monster. Okay. guess we're going up. Up? Yes, please.
Mom definitely blamed Edie, but I think Lewis blamed himself. After he graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room.
Yeah, I thought Lewis
until
was
Mom
his
got him a
brother.
job at the cannery. Everyone always told me to stay out of Lewis's room. Except Lewis.
Leela's marijuana. Alright. There's an up and around, possibly? This seems awfully dangerous. I mean, it looks fun, but it also seems really dangerous. What's up? Oh. We're going in. We're going in, people. Why would you stop? I feel like I don't have enough mouse pad for this game. Eh. Is it because it's a boat? Or is it because it's,
Lewis's room smelled very, very familiar. That part of him lived on.
it was the, marijuana.
Lewis and I spent a lot of time playing games together, but he was surprisingly bad at them. He died a lot.
Too soon, man, too soon.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Lewis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse.
Oh my god.
Newly sober, I believe Lewis first noticed the monotony of his daily life. He kept working at the cannery, but he withdrew part of himself.
Dig it.
In our sessions, I saw the same behavior.
Dig it.
His mind began to
Mine began to
wander.
Oh. I didn't realize that there was a game going on there.
I asked him to describe it. He said he started small, imagining a labyrinth. He'd feel his way about. Then something moved. Bats. And toads.
Dinosaur.
And things that have not names. He knew it was all in his head. But he took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself.
Away with that fish.
But he found something more.
You found D&D, the gateway drug.
I worried about him then. Daydreaming at the cannery.
It's gonna cut us.
I spoke with his boss. But he said Lewis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused. Like a whole new Lewis. So I let him go on.
I like how the game gets more and more involved.
I even encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first. He told me he'd made a new friend. On the edge of a city he named Lewis Topia.
Jesus.
He built the city up slowly, brick by brick. Then he made musicians.
This is really hard to like navigate
And songs
the two
for them
things.
to play.
And chat and commentate. I am such the
He
multitasker.
talked about starting a band. And he was always humming something. Every day his imagination grew stronger.
Well, isn't that just the way with like this whole family?
He no longer spoke at the cannon. But his chopping was as reliable as ever.
I walked into something.
Then one day it struck him that all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination. So he could do whatever he wished. He held an election for mayor. And he won. They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering.
Yeah, I really like the games.
It became a game for him. He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on. New Louisville.
Louisville, Houston.
St. Louis. He started drifting away from our reality. Minneapolis. Until one
Clever.
day he forgot to go home from the cannery. Even as his mother pleaded with him, part of Louis kept sailing on.
But Mom, must conquer
In
the
Louisville,
imaginary world.
he heard rumors of a
Beautiful prince.
beautiful prince. The prince was on his own quest for
Sinister serpents.
sinister serpents.
No, stay away from my beautiful prince. Oops.
He followed the sound of his
Electric guitar?
electric sitar.
Oh, sitar, I'm sorry. Oh no, that's alright. I feel like this is me when I'm...
His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon. Even then, his logic remained sound. He knew the world was all in his imagination.
Beautiful prince.
But he was so proud of having created it. In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king.
Understood.
For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming. And then it struck him that the real Louis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace.
Okay.
My imagination is as real as my body, he told me. It was hard to argue with him.
tasteless. Where's my fish?
We began to forget the world we know. I think it pained him to remember Lewis, the cannery worker.
Is that him? This factory must smell to high heaven. I used to live near.
He began to despise the man with a royal contempt.
Yo, dude. Bro.
I still thought I could save him. Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder.
Yeah, that's why I don't like fish. The smell. Look. Look.
The palace would be packed with his companions. Including the wise Calico who'd insisted on inviting him.
Aw, Molly.
His prince waited, holding his crown.
Spears. Do not poke me with them. I mean, I think this is
There was
just
only one thing left to do.
the entire family. They're just like too involved in their own lives. Well, I mean, I knew this was coming, so.
Bend down his head.
Music is a bit loud.
And the rest I think you know.
Yeah, I get
Mrs. Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
I kind of saw this coming.
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him.
Sanjay, that's her dad. Dawn's her mom. Edith's her grandma. So those are the three we're missing. Was Milton her brother? I didn't realize she had two brothers. Okay. Oh, he was on something. Probably didn't go well with the other self-medicating he was doing. Hey, cool dude. Thank you for stopping by. We were just playing a very weird game with the most amazing house in the world.
On the way back from Lewis's funeral, my mom
Thank you
told
for
me to start
hosting me.
packing. She waited until the day before we left to tell Edie. I'm not sure if she wanted to make it easier or harder. I wish we'd stayed.
Is this her room? No. Just a refrigerator and
But I
everything.
understand why we left. My mom ended up leaving everything behind.
That's gotta be hard to do.
What happened that night had been coming for a long time. Maybe it should have come sooner. But it had to end one way or another. All that's left now is to tell you about that last night.
But we didn't get to the grandmother. This is our story.
That whole last day, Edie just watched us pack and didn't say a word. Until supper, when she raised her glass and said,
"To our final night together, and all our final nights apart."
Grandma, you know what I said about alcohol. Some of your medications are very
Edith,
specific.
I left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it? The grown-ups have to argue now.
I'm sorry, you're right. We're all leaving tomorrow. Let's just enjoy our last...
I'm not leaving.
Edith, you're excused.
Oh. I was told there was a present
the
for me in
power
the
had been
hall?
shut off that morning, but Edie always had plenty of candles. When my mom sealed the library, I don't think she knew about the other entrance. Or that Edie had a key to it.
This house is gonna
The
burn
thing
up.
you're afraid of isn't going to end when you leave the house. Edith has a right to know these stories.
My children are dead because of your stories. I think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight. We'll have the nursing home send a van for you in the morning,
Aw.
okay?
Dear Edith,
Hey, Vtuber,
there's
how are
so
you?
many stories I wish
Thank you
I
for
could
stopping
tell you,
by.
but there's only time for one. This is about what happened on the night you were born. That night, the tide went way, way out.
Do we get to go to the old house?
It was the first and last time I ever saw the old house aground. There'd been an earthquake out in the middle of the ocean. They called it the lowest tide in 1,000 years. God, it smelled awful. You know, I've seen that house every day of my life.
Go to the old
But I
house.
never thought I'd go back to it. When the fog rolled in, I lost my way.
She's walking straight.
I got turned around.
Thank you.
For a while, I wandered.
I'll talk to you
I
later.
started seeing things. Things I'd forgotten had ever existed.
Rock? Did you forget rocks exist? Oh. We're supposed to go this way.
But when I saw them, they felt like old friends. That night, a lot of things came back to me. Or maybe I came back to them.
Still want to know how you, like, ship a house on a boat.
Things I can't explain, but that I need you to try and...
Edith, what are you doing in here?
It's mine!
Edith!
Mom, you're gonna rip it! Let go! I kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car. I never saw Great-Grandma Edie again.
That's so sad.
The next morning, the van came to pick her up, but she was already gone. After that, we moved around a lot.
Who hasn't done this in the car?
We both tried to make the best of it. A few years went by. My mom didn't like to talk about it. But she started getting sick a lot. The rest happened pretty quickly. She got better for a while, and then she didn't. And then I was alone.
That's rough.
The last Finch left alive. Until I found out about you. I'm still not sure what to tell you about all this. If we lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things. But as it is, I think the best we can do is try to open our eyes. And appreciate how strange and brief all of this is.
Are we being born? We're being born.
This journal was supposed to be for you. But now I hope you'll never see it. I just want to meet you and tell you all these stories myself. But I guess if you're reading this now, things didn't work out that way.
You're saying it from the inside, so it's okay. It's not
This
that
is
annoying.
where your story begins. I'm sorry I won't be there to see it. It's a lot to ask, but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone. I want you to be amazed that any of us ever had a chance to be here at all. Good luck.
So who's taking care of him? We never did finish the grandma story. It's kind of sad. I think that's the end. Oh no! This is really kind of interesting. It's a very, very unique way of telling the story. I liked it. The end of everything. I don't know if there's